Holy baby whiskers. What? Baby whiskers? What even are baby whiskers? Hi babes! Welcome back to my channel and to the second official tea talk. So excited! I love a good theme. I love tea. I love talking to you guys. So let's get started. Today I wanted to talk to you about setbacks. I'm such a type A Virgo creature. I love being productive, so I hate setbacks with a passion of 1,000 suns. But we're all going to have them in life, in our careers, in our relationships, and they can do some serious psychological warfare on us, totally knocking us out. For example, I was in a car accident a few weeks ago. It was a pretty huge setback for me. I worked my tail feathers off to pay off my car, and then some dude decides to not keep his eyes on the road and crashed into me at a red light. Rude. My mom and I both think this guy was probably on his phone, so this is a mid-video PSA. Put your phones down when you're driving, please, so you don't run into people like me who are just trying to be out and about in the world, living our best lives. Thank you. Not only did the accident total my car, but I had to deal with a lot of insurance shenanigans. I was in some significant pain. For those of you who don't know, I'm a professional performer and my body is my instrument, so not only was this physically and financially a huge setback for me, it was also pretty scary. Remember me saying I'm like a super type A Virgo kind of person? I'm also typically a pretty positive person and I like to look at the bright side of things. Let me tell you, whew, this accident, I struggled a little bit. And then I was like, girl, calm down. You are fine. But it got me thinking about setbacks and what you and I can do when we're faced with a setback. So stick around if you want to hear my tips on how to handle a setback. Tip number 1. Get perspective. How bad is the actual setback? I think that the fear of the unknown and our own dang imaginations can turn a setback into a giant asteroid that's hurtling toward Earth to kill everyone. But seriously, a setback can feel like it has ruined our entire career or our future or our relationships. But once the shock of the setback has worn off, take some time to get some perspective. Is it really the end of the world, or will things just take a little longer than you anticipated? Do you have to now adjust your plans or maybe even make a whole new plan? For me with the accident, once the shock had worn off, I was able to take a step back and realize that things could have been so much worse. There were a lot of things to be grateful for. I mean, honestly, the first thing I thought was, I hope there are no dogs in any of these cars, because I had a little succulent in my car and he like flew into the windshield and smashed and died, and I was like, what if there was a dog in the car behind me? But no animals were harmed. And once I was able to look at things objectively, I saw that, okay, it was an accident, my car is totaled, but I'm alright. Tip number 2 is to cut yourself some slack. We don't have to be exactly where we thought we would be in life at this point, and that's totally okay. It doesn't mean that we failed or that life is unfair. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all thought that by like 23 we'd be married to our soulmate and living in our dream house and like kicking ass at our careers. And I'm pretty sure we can all laugh about that right now. The thing is, like, our lives don't have to take the path we envisioned to still be wonderful. I mean, honestly, I did not envision myself to be a lesbian go-go dancing burlesque queen, but I'm pretty happy with that plot twist, to be honest. Tip number 3 is to let yourself wallow. Go ahead and throw yourself an epic pity party, because your setback sucks. It really sucks, like there's no doubt about it. The accident I was in, it sucked. It sucked so much. Oh. I definitely threw myself a pity party. Okay, I lied. I threw myself like 3 really ridiculous pity parties where I ugly cried a lot. But I couldn't just go from having my car be totaled and having to deal with all that stuff straight into the sunshine and rainbows of my typical day. I had to allow myself to feel how much it sucked. And I want you to be able to give yourself that grace too. But that leads me to my next tip, which is tip number 4. Go ahead and wallow for a hot minute, but don't live there. Remaining in a place where you just feel like crap all the time about something that happened to you is not gonna do you any favors, and it's not gonna turn your life around, and it's gonna turn that setback into something even worse. Guarantee it. And that, my friends, leads me to my next tip, which is possibly one of the most important. Tip number 5, and that is acceptance. Whatever setback happened to you now exists as part of your story. I can't go back in time and not have my car get smashed and not have my succulent hit the windshield. So I just have to accept that it happened. Acceptance is huge in finding peace, because the bottom line is that it did happen. And there is nothing at this point that you can do unless you have a time machine, and if you do, can you please bring it to me, because I would not date certain girls. I would just go back in time and hit myself in the face and be like, don't date this girl. But anyway, If you don't have a time machine, acceptance. If you do have a time machine, good for you. Go back and fix all your mistakes and mine, thank you. But once you find that peace and acceptance about something that happened to you, now you can move on to my final tip, tip number 6, which is what can you do now? What can you control in the situation? A lot of setbacks make us feel like we are powerless or totally helpless. What can you do to get some of that power back? For me, it was figuring out what I need to do with my insurance, how I was going to find a new car because I spend most of my life on the road. I started making moves, girl. And happy to say I found a car. I'm broke like a joke, but she's beautiful. And then there's like a glittery silver racing stripe down her side, which is literally a silver lining. I know, I was like, what? After you get some perspective, give yourself some time to wallow, accept that it happened, make those moves, be open to the people in your life who are willing to help you, because that's huge. And thank you to everyone who reached out to me during this difficult time in my life, which is, let's be honest, like, it's just a car accident. It's not that big a deal. It was like, this is me getting perspective and acceptance and moving on with my life. Those are my tips on how to handle a setback. Remember, if a dog was not injured, is it really a setback? No, it's not. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that if you are going through a setback, that some of my tips helped you. Let's make those moves together. Let's get our lives back on track. 2019 is right around the corner, so new year, better us. Let's do it. I love you. I hope you enjoyed the second official tea talk. Barely drank any of my tea, but I spilled some tea. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Share with your friends. And I love you so much. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.